The idea behind VAR is to let people talk about the football and less about the mistakes that happen within the game due to human error. And since the introduction of VAR, it has done the exact opposite. Let's talk about it. Before we start, let's play a game. Comment down below the worst VAR decision that you've seen ever. Let's play a game, because it'd be really tough, because you probably instantly think about 5. And also, if you can, smash a like. Let's try to hit 3,000 likes. Thank you very much. Now, I don't like to talk about VAR because for me it has such a simple answer. VAR is not the problem. The people using it are. This video is coming off the back of a highly controversial event between Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool, where Diaz scored a more than fine goal, and despite it being onside, was given as offside. Audio came out from within the VAR process, showcasing the procedures put in place, and human error behind the technology fails us yet again, as we always knew. For the life of me, I don't know why the same VAR offside equipment used in the Champions League is not used in the Premier League, because that can really avoid a lot of human error. However, it is not implemented yet. The reason why I'm doing this video is because Jurgen Klopp, in an interview today, said that in his opinion, how he would like the situation to go when a goal has been wrongly ripped out, the team suffered because of it, he would like to see a replay, which is insanity to think of, and of course will never happen. But that is what he wants to see. Now, of course, today's video is not on about every single VAR decision of all time, because if that was the case, then we would be here for literally 15 years. However, I will go into every single VAR apology listed. So we're going to break down into this, so comment down below your thoughts on VAR, and also like, subscribe, and let's do code VAR for 15% off mazzoladesigns.co.uk, my own football print design company. It means the world. Link down below, top of the description. I appreciate your time. Let's begin. Since the start of the 2022-23 season, there has been 15 VAR apologies given to the teams after the game due to an incorrect decision going against their football club. 15 in just over a year. In today's video, we will go into these apologies and why were they given, and breaking down into what are seen as the worst decisions in VAR history in the last year or so. I also want to highlight Liverpool's statement after the apology, saying the following: Liverpool Football Club acknowledges PGMO's admission of their failures last night. It is clear that the correct application of the laws of the game did not occur, resulting in sporting integrity being undermined. They went on further to say that in the meantime, we will explore the range of options available, given the clear need for escalation and resolution. I, for one, agree with the fact that VAR should be improved, or the people behind VAR should be improved with better training, and it is a real shame that we are talking more about the officials than football itself most of the time. I find it boring, I find it infuriating, and I do believe VAR at times gets involved way too often than what it really should, and for me it is still inconsistent. What is a handball and what is not? What is a foul and what is not? And it looks like VAR is going out of its way not to solve a human error, but to find a way to take a goal away. No matter who you support in the Premier League, I guarantee that you've had a very unfortunate decision go against you. That is a guarantee. We've all gone through an awful VAR decision, so by no means do I agree with the fact that VAR is biased and got an agenda against one club. That is nonsense. So with that said, let's get into the VAR apologies. Incident number 1, Everton 0, Man City 1. Referee Paul Tierney and VAR Chris Kavanagh missed a handball from Manchester City midfielder Rodri, failing to award Everton a penalty. This was looked back on after the fact, and an apology was therefore issued. Referees Chief Mike Riley personally apologised to Everton manager Frank Lampard for mistakes made in the defeat. Lampard blasted VAR Chris Kavanagh for being a professional who cannot do his job right. This was quite a big turning point, as of course Manchester City and Liverpool were in a title fight, and due to this being a big moment and a late stage of the game, Everton could have drawn this game 1-1 with Man City, and if this game was a draw from the back of that, then Liverpool would have won the Premier League title this season if all results followed the same afterwards. Incident number 2. Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. Wolves manager Gary O'Neill received an apology from the Premier League after his team were denied a stoppage time penalty in a 1-0 defeat at Old Trafford to Manchester United. In this incident, Andre Onana clattered into Wolves striker Sasa Kalasic deep into time added on, but referee Simon Hooper did not react, and VAR Michael Salisbury deemed that there was no foul. In his post-match interview, O'Neill said that John Moss said it was a blatant penalty and should have been given. Fair play to John for coming out and saying it was a clear and obvious error. He couldn't believe the on-field referee didn't give it and can't believe VAR did not intervene. It probably made me feel worse, actually, because you were right. I feel worse about leaving with nothing. Of course, in this incident, the ball came in with Onana coming out to try and punch the ball, and instead of punching the ball, he indeed punched the striker instead, once the striker made contact with the ball first and won the ball first before the goalkeeper. Tell me your thoughts down below on this. Incident 3. Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. On the 8th of April 2023, Brighton received an apology from the PGMO, which, by the way, the PGMO stands for Professional Game Match Officials Limited, just in case if you were wondering what that meant. Brighton in this game received an apology from the PGMO due to a failure to award a spot kick, a penalty, following Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's foul on Mitoma. VAR official Michael Salisbury yet again was dropped from the next round of Premier League fixtures. Brighton also had 2 goals disallowed in this defeat. Howard Webb apologised to Brighton and admitted that VAR should have awarded a penalty. At this point in the game, it was 1-1, and Brighton were on the charge for European football alongside Spurs in what was a massive game. There was also many controversial calls from this game, as well as Mitoma's penalty claim. Mitoma had a goal ruled out for handball, as did teammate Alexis McAllister. Brighton had 2 penalty appeals turned down against Langley, one for handball and another for a shirt pull on Lewis Dunk. That counts for 5 different occasions in this game that Brighton had a decision go against them. This would be the 3rd time Brighton received an apology this season. The next time was this. Incident 4. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1. On the 13th of February 2023, VAR John Brooks wrongly ruled out Pervis Estupinian's opening goal after drawing the offside lines in a wrong place. The referee was then dropped from the next 2 Premier League fixtures. This was a mistake from not only VAR John Brooks, but also the Hawkeye technology operator. Brighton indeed was the worst affected club in the Premier League last season, with only 2 VAR overturns in their favour and 8 against. How can you, with all the technology and time, draw the lines in the wrong place? Insanity. Incident number 5. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. Arsenal received an apology after Ivan Toney's equaliser was not fully checked by VAR. Lee Mason did not fully investigate an offside call against Christian Norgard, who provided the assist for Toney's leveller, with no lines drawn on the screen to determine whether the Denmark international should have been penalised. And after this event, Lee Mason left the PGMO by mutual consent the following week, admitting that human error led to VAR not investigating after he was clearly seen as offside, causing big points dropped in Arsenal's title race. Why are the officials not taking the time needed and doing the procedures correctly to see if a player was even offside or not? Why would you not draw the lines? Incident 6. Brighton 2, Liverpool 1. And another apology given to Brighton and Hove Albion. PGMO accepted that Fabinho should have been sent off for a challenge from behind on Brighton's Evan Ferguson, which was only given as a yellow card. In the incident, Evan Ferguson picks up the ball, with Fabinho taking a lunge from behind, missing the ball and taking out the player completely. Even Fabinho's reaction held his hand up, knowing that he did wrong. In what was a terrible challenge, you can see from the player's reaction, he knows that it's a red and he's just waiting to be sent off. And when he received a yellow, you can even see him look away to the subs bench, knowing that he got away with one. Why VAR did not get involved is incredible, and the fact they had to do another apology to Brighton after the fact is embarrassing. Incident 7. Aston Villa 3, Manchester United 1. A review was put in place onto Luca Ding's free kick against Manchester United and concluded that the Manchester United players, the wall was put too far back by the referee Anthony Taylor. Erik ten Hag, after the match, said, "I think the free kick is stoppable because the wall is too far. Okay, a small detail, but details make the difference in top football." However, another mistake made for seemingly no reason, with another apology given to the manager. Incident number 8. Newcastle 0, Crystal Palace 0. On the 3rd of September 2022, Newcastle were denied victory after a VAR decision ruled out an own goal by Tyreek Mitchell in a 0-0 draw at St James's Park. PGMO accepted after the fact that the goal was wrongly disallowed after Joe Willock was determined to have impeded the goalkeeper Vicente Gaeta. However, by looking back on the footage, you can see that there was a push by the Palace defender Tyreek Mitchell into Willock, who then flied Willock into the goalkeeper. PGMO understood this and apologised afterwards. Incident 9. Chelsea 2, West Ham United 1. One of the worst VAR decisions that I've seen, just by the insanity of it. On the same weekend as the Newcastle incident, West Ham were denied a late equaliser at Stamford Bridge when Maxwell Cornet's goal was ruled out. This was ruled out as VAR believed that Jarrod Bowen impeded and made contact that was threatening to Edouard Mendy, as they both went in for 50-50, with Jarrod Bowen's trailing leg lightly grazing the top of Mendy's body. Declan Rice, after, in a post-match interview, stating, "It was one of the worst VAR decisions since it came into the game. PGMO reviewed, accepted that VAR made an error." David Moyes, in his post-match interview, saying, "I've lost faith in the people who are putting it up for VAR. I can't see how the goal isn't given. It is a scandalous decision, absolutely rotten from one of the supposedly elite referees." Incident 10. Nottingham Forest 2, Brentford 2. Brentford this game were awarded a penalty after a collision between Dean Henderson and Yoann Vizeh. Replay showed, however, that Vizeh initiated the contact, but Brentford was still given the spot kick. After the fact, PGMO and Howard Webb apologised to Forest for an error in the decision making. Incident 11. Fulham 3, Aston Villa 0. In this game, Douglas Luiz were wrongly sent off for Aston Villa just after the hour mark. He was thought to have instigated a bust-up and a fight on the pitch. However, when looking back, the real perpetrator in this incident was Aleksandar Mitrovic. Aston Villa appealed this decision and was overturned. Incident 12. Manchester United 3, Arsenal 1. Arsenal's first defeat of the 22-23 season came at Old Trafford, but a refereeing decision impacted the match early on. Gabriel Martinelli was denied a goal after a VAR check decided that Martin Odegaard had fouled Christian Eriksen. However, after the fact, PGMO later revealed that the goal should have stood. Incident 13. Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 1. PGMO apologised yet again during Aston Villa's defeat at Selhurst Park, where referee Andy Madley awarded Palace a penalty following a check on the VAR monitor. This was an incident where Luca Digne handled the ball in the box, and a penalty was initially awarded. However, after a monitor check, deemed it no longer a penalty, despite the fact that he did handle the ball in the box. Another incident happened the same weekend as Spurs-Liverpool, where between Nottingham Forest and Brentford, a penalty for a challenge by Matt Turner on Yoann Vizeh wasn't given, where 6 minutes into the second half, Vizeh went to charge down the Forest keeper, and Vizeh got his toe to the ball before Turner could clear. The goalkeeper clattered into him, however the referee failed to give a spot kick, while VAR did not intervene either, confusing everyone as the fact that the attacker got to the ball first and was fouled immediately afterwards. This game ended 2-2. I don't think I even went into the incident between Liverpool and Spurs, however we've all seen it, that it couldn't be any more obvious that Luis Diaz was onside, even without lines. You can pretty much tell that he was onside, and even with lines, it made it even more clearer Of course, the audio coming out after the fact showing the process that immediately it took them about 5 or 10 seconds in between that range to check was it onside, and it was. However, for some reason they did not take the time necessary to double check and to let the officials on the pitch know. Most people at the ground felt that it was done way too fast, and that's because they rushed it for seemingly no reason. And if you have not listened to the audio, then I shall play it to you now, but it is incredible viewing.
Give it. Coming back for the offside, mate.
Just checking the offside delay. Give me kick point, let's go. Yep. Kick point, please. No worries,
so here we are.
Thank you. Wait, okay.
Just get a tight angle.
Yeah, give me 2D line ready after as well for frame 2
so
after that. That's fine.
Frame 2 there.
Perfect.
I've got the time on this. I clock
2D line on left boot.
Yep. Let me just switch angles. I think it might be this angle better.
Hey.
Happy with this angle?
You got good eyes, you don't.
Yep. 2D line on the boot.
2D line on the boot.
Yep. Okay.
Wait, no, wait.
So 2D line on the boot.
And stop. Check complete. Check complete. It's fine. Perfect.
Yeah. Off. Thank you, mate.
Wait. On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
Are you happy with this?
Offside goal. Yeah. That's what it does.
What?
On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this image? Yeah, it's onside. The image we gave you is onside.
Left back.
He's gone offside.
Delay. Ollie's saying to delay. Ollie's saying to delay.
Red throw.
Pardon?
Ollie's calling in to say delay the game. To complete the decision is offside.
Can't do anything.
Ollie's saying to delay.
Ollie?
Yeah.
Delay the game. To delay the game. Stop the game.
They've restarted the game.
Yeah, they've restarted. Yeah.
Can't do anything.
No.
I can't do anything. I can't do anything.
Yes, the fact that the people in charge of VAR knew instantly the mistake that they made. You can almost feel the tension in their voice that they know that they're going to be hearing this everywhere for the next few days and weeks, as they knew that this mistake is going to make a big difference, and were probably begging and praying that Liverpool went on to win the game, and they didn't. And this entire event is exploding due to it. I do believe that Liverpool have a right to challenge the authorities and the officials and to challenge their current way of how they procedure VAR. Again, VAR is not the problem, the people controlling it is. The issue is we are striving for perfection, and that is simply never going to happen. Even with the most trained elite people behind the machines possible and behind the technology, you're going to make a mistake every now and then. You may make a decision that's really tough, really is tough, and you may get it a bit wrong, and that is understood. People kind of forget why VAR was brought in the first place. I mean, one of the biggest recent decisions that brought in the idea of bringing in goal line technology and bringing in more technology in the first place was, of course, the Frank Lampard 2010 World Cup ghost goal. That was a massive talking point, and that sparked goal line tech, which we've not had any issues with other than Aston Villa v Sheffield United. Of course, all these apologies was in the last year or so, literally since start of the 2022-23 season. So imagine how many there would be before that. I mean, for me, as a Burnley fan, we've gone through some things that is very unfortunate, some things are lucky, and no matter who you support, you've probably gone through a moment in VAR or officiating that you believe was also unfair too. By no means is it perfect, and I do like to think that in the grand context of football, that things do inevitably balance out. And sometimes it does feel that way, sometimes it doesn't. Of course, for example, Brighton last year, they had 2 VAR decisions in their favour and 8 against them. Despite all that, they still finished in the Europa League, which is remarkable, really. Tell me down below your thoughts on VAR. I mean, when we was in the Championship last year, I was quite happy. Just because when you score a goal, there's no doubt about is this going to stand, and I suffered that early on in this year, that when we scored against Forest in what seemed to be a completely fine, normal goal, that not a single person had any doubts of it not being a goal, not a single Forest player or fan questioned anything going wrong. It was overruled, and VAR got involved for what seemed to be no reason, for a handball, which no one questioned at all. And it felt like VAR getting involved for no reason as seen as not as a clear and obvious error. No one thought that there was an error there. However, it got involved. And is that a situation that is a problem that VAR gets involved when it doesn't need to, or isn't expected to? The issue is that there's so much grey area and inconsistency that sometimes there's a situation where there's a handball and the goal gets given. For example, I believe Anthony Gordon against Sheffield United, there was a goal given despite the fact it hit his hand. But for Sander Berge, it is not given for hitting just the upper part of his arm. So if it is a case of it hits his arm, therefore it must be given as a handball, then what's the consistency here? And that's the biggest problem that people have. People have such high expectations of VAR that they expect every single decision to be perfect, but that's impossible, and that makes it even more frustrating for people to understand. So yeah, it's a tough one, and for me, VAR, it just seems to be getting worse and worse each year than getting better. You would think that with time, with better training, it will get better over time, and it seems to be getting better almost everywhere other than England, and something needs to change. I hope something gets changed very soon. Tell me your thoughts down below, smash a like button on the video, let's try to hit 4,000 likes and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.